pull up the early adopter curve, there's a curve that, people in the audience should know if they're founders. And it basically goes, you have the laggards on one side, you have the early adopters on the other. This is Clayton Christensen, classic way of looking at the adoption curve of new technologies. So when you look at this, you got the innovators, right? It's 2.5% of people. Now, these are astronauts, are innovators, right? They're the ones who will come up. They have early adopters. Early adopters will be, right after them, these crazy people who will pay $50 million to go on one of these things.
Sure.
And then you have the early majority, the late majority, and the laggards. What we're seeing here is the early majority is doing spaceflight now. These are not early adopters. This early majority kind of behavior.
Mainstream kinds of people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so the equivalent here would be when you looked at the Tesla rollout, innovators were the ones who bought the Roadster. Early adopters bought the Model S. The early majority bought the Model X. The late majority bought the Model 3 and Y. And the laggards still haven't bought electric cars. Or maybe they're buying other brands of electric cars or hybrids, right? Like a Prius or whatever. Plug-in hybrid might be
They're the Rivian folks, yeah.
The Rivian folks would be, actually, that's correct. Yes, they would be, if you pull up the chart again, they would be like the late majority, I would say. And it's really important to look at that group. Now, when we look at this and we talk about self-driving and Waymos, right now, Waymos is in the early adopters phase. We're not even to the early majority. We only have probably low hundreds of thousands of people who've ever used a Waymo.
Right. And my mom was in town this weekend. Uber offered to send her a Waymo to bring her to Uchi the other night. She said, no.
No bueno.
Not ready.
Not for mom.
She picked Raphael, the Uber driver, instead.
Right. And she's the late majority.
Yeah.
She might be a laggard.
I mean, she will get there.
So then she's a laggard.
Yeah. On her second or third trip to Austin, I guarantee we'll get her in a Waymo.
So this is standard innovation adoption life cycle. If you look at that drone delivery, we're really in the innovators and early adopters.
Right.
We're just going into the early adopters phase. So important for people to understand this. And you have to, there's all kinds of different challenges along that curve, Alex, as you know. You don't have to convince, Robert Scoble's name was invoked on the last episode.
Yes, it was.
Robert Scoble literally would jump on the hood of a Tesla as an early innovator.
Oh, sure.
Literally, if I was driving my Roadster, he literally would jump on and grab the fender to be part of that. He's literally like, if you had a pill that could increase your IQ, and I was like, yeah, we haven't tested it yet. He's the guy who would just take two and be like, all right, let's test it now. He's that like Jack Black he's the Jack Black of the tech industry in a way, where he'll just.
But in the most flattering way.
I mean, in the most flattering way. I'm not describing his body type or anything. And just unless you're making a visual.